This is Michelle coming at you with Page of Wands, Intuitive Tarot, and Oracle. This is Twin Flame reading for Gemini for the month of July, and this is for Twin Flame skeptics. And what I mean by that, this is for anybody that feels like you've gone through a dark night of the soul, have maybe had some really big life changes or life events that were facilitated by a catalyst relationship that could be defined as twin flame relationship, a karmic relationship, or maybe a deep soul connection or a soulmate. A lot of people assign very different definitions to those phrases, but I don't really like to get caught up in semantics. But if you found your way here, I'm assuming it's because you already know about the twin flame journey and what it's about. So when I say skeptics, I say that just because I feel this is more about the journey and not as much about just the union of a partnership between two people, right? So it's about a deep soul journey and maybe feeling like you're kind of on a soul mission, and that the twin flame journey is about elevating the soul and getting to a place where we are in higher vibration and we can attract the things that we want, and we can reevaluate our relationship to health, wealth, spirituality, and love. So anyway, without further ado, I would like to give us a little message. I don't want to make this intro too long here, but my twin flame is a Gemini, and when I went to do the reading yesterday, I tried 3 times to upload the video, and a pop-up kept happening on my computer that would shut down the video. And it was weird because I kept talking about the significance of that number as well, because it kept coming up. And then 3 different times I tried to record and it wasn't happening, guys. So I'm doing a completely different reading. I had to just sort of take the message that that reading was not meant for the general public. So maybe it was just meant for me. I'm not sure, but it was really strange. And I had to literally just shut down for the day and like take a nap. And then we had this huge, crazy thunderstorm. And I really just like relaxed the rest of the night because I didn't feel like I could get clear messages. And it was just very interesting. So anyway, I'm going to start fresh here. And I actually just saged the room and lit some incense. And I did shuffle the cards already and meditate over them. I'm using my trusted Tarot of the Old Path here. This is the deck I've had for about 20 years. And I'm going to lay down 3 cards on my left for Divine Masculine and 3 cards on my right for Divine Feminine. And then 2 clarifying or connecting cards, connecting energy cards in the middle. And I do leave those face down, guys, until I've gotten a clear read on the masculine side and the feminine side. Okay, so pulling these right now, and I can already tell you this is a far cry from what I pulled yesterday. And those cards were so significant to me in my life, the way they were reading out, that it's no wonder that I wasn't meant to bring that to the public. Okay, so hopefully these messages will resonate with you, Geminis. So, and also, you can take these readings however you want. If you found your way here just for a love reading, please, by all means, enjoy and watch. Hopefully you'll get some messages. Divine Feminines, hopefully some of these Divine Masculine cards, even if your masculine is not a Gemini, will resonate with you, and vice versa. Same thing with you masculines. Even if your feminine isn't a Gemini, hopefully some of these messages will still cross over. That's kind of the point of doing it this way. Okay, so to get as many nuances as possible. So masculines, we're going to start with you first. First card we have here is the 4 of Cups. And this is a card about complacency and boredom, specifically in your relationships, because the Cups cards here have to do with the suit of emotions and the subconscious and intuition. And if you notice, this gentleman here in this super stylish blue hat is sleeping, and this lady is pouring water into his cup while he's asleep. So there are 2 ways that this card can go. You can either be the man that's sleeping, who is receiving the emotion and receiving the love and doesn't really care and doesn't really seem all that willing to accept it or give it back. Or you could be embodying the female in this card who is doing all of the pouring and pouring all of her heart and emotion into this man's cup, despite the fact she's not getting anything in return. Okay, and then right under that, we have the King of Wands in reverse. This guy, upright, is a pretty cool character, right? This is a very charismatic leader. This guy could be an entrepreneur. He could be a master chef. He could be a master artist, a very successful musician who makes lots of money doing what he's doing. These wand suits are the realm of your creative skills and endeavors, right? Creativity and passion. So upright, this man's got a lot going on. He's really, he can be really flamboyant. He can be just really charismatic, right? He's a visionary. He's a great leader. And he knows how to manifest what he wants in this world. He knows how to take all of the tools that he's got in his toolbox and use them to bring something forth that he wants. But in the upright, this guy isn't so hot, right? Either he's not feeling in his element here as a King of Wands, as someone capable of manifesting what they want in their creative and personal life that's going to bring them passion and fulfillment. Either they're feeling stifled or blocked here, which is why this is upside down, or this is a person that uses their passion and their creativity and their charisma to for manipulative reasons, or maybe for reasons that aren't so honest. Okay, maybe this guy's a real smooth talker, and he's kind of going to show a lot of love. This would be like a ladies' man who never commits, right? But a guy who's been doing it forever, a serial non-committal person. Okay, and this is right in the middle. So masculines, we'll see. I'm not saying that that's you, but we'll see here, okay, as we clarify. Right underneath that, we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. The 10 of Wands is all about feeling like, see, this guy's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, right? He feels very bogged down in all of the endeavors that he's struggling to really carry forth here, right? So, whether this is just work and your bills and your family and all of your struggles are piled here on your back, and you feel like if one more twig falls on this pile, it's going to break your back, right? Now, in the reverse, I like to think that this energy is fading out. Okay, that you are reaching the culmination point. The problem with 10s being in reverse is that this is the end. This is a culmination point, right? This is when this is supposed to be the last straw. Okay, so if it's in the reverse, sometimes I feel like this is either internalized or this is something that's not able to be moving its way. It's stuck here. Like you're stuck under the weight of these things, right? Or it's something that's happening by your own volition for some reason. Maybe there's something going on that's making you feel like you can't get out from under the weight of all of these wands, or this struggle has been enduring for a really long time. That's kind of the main message I'm getting. And if that's the case, where this struggle has really been going on for a long time, then it wouldn't surprise me that you're feeling like this, okay? Because these are both the suit of wands here. So maybe the fact that you've been carrying all of these sticks on your back, you're feeling really dang tired, and you're feeling really dang bogged down by your own wands, right? You're feeling really tired, and I really do think that that's where this is going to go. Okay, and so emotionally speaking, it wouldn't be surprising to me if you were either one of these people, either the stress of all of your burdens, right, making you feel stifled and like you're not in your power here, and you're a slave to all those things that are bogging you down, and that's either making you feel really bored and complacent and like you just want to go to sleep because you need a nap, but emotionally speaking, right? Okay, we're talking about relationships here. Maybe you're not able to give in your relationships because you feel bogged down, or maybe part of what's making you feel bogged down in all of these struggles is because you're the one doing the pouring, and you're pouring all of your emotions into this person's cup, and he doesn't care because he's just laying there asleep. Again, masculines, we will get to some clarifiers here, okay, and we'll dig a little bit deeper into that. For now, I'm going to move over to feminines. Feminines, the first card you have here is the Two of Pentacles. So this is about balance and harmony, right? Balance and harmony. This is a juggling act. It could be two different people. It could be that you've had to juggle two different people. Or it could be that this is just you trying to balance your home life and your work life, right? It could be you trying to balance two different things. Because it's a suit of pentacles, again, I usually err on the side of health, wealth, and spirituality. So that's why I say sometimes this could be your home and your job, or it could be, your spiritual life and sort of what you do in the everyday. Maybe it's the people you hang out with and the things you do, and your job doesn't really jive with that. It doesn't make you feel fulfilled. So you're really you're doing this tightrope act here, and you're really trying to keep your pentacles kind of all in order and harmonize these things. All right. Again, we'll dig into that a little bit more. What's right underneath that, this may have to do with money and finances, because we have the Four of Pentacles here, and this guy does not like to give up his coins, right? I mean, look at him. He's like holding on to those babies like, hell no, you ain't getting my coins. Right? And he's in the upright. So in the upright, I don't always see this as a totally negative card, even though he looks a little bit like nasty, sort of like he'll bite your hand if you try to get those pentacles. But I do see this as a really strong holding on. But a lot of times this is because these pentacles here are something that you've worked really, really hard for. You've worked really hard to earn. You've worked really hard to build. And, you're just being very protective of them. And there's nothing really wrong with that. There's just a little bit of a forewarning here not to hold on too tight. Okay, feminine? So again, this may have to do with your money. This could have to do with your relationships. So we'll see. Now, underneath that, the third card for you, feminine, Geminis, is this Two of Swords. And this card is in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. There's a lot of symbolism in this card. I feel it's important to point out. In the traditional deck, it's the woman sitting on the rock with the waves behind her, the sea, right? Which signifies intuition, the subconscious. And you've got the moon, which signifies mystery and mysticism. And then she's blindfolded, right? So she's either blind to something or she's in denial. And then she's got the two swords crossed over her heart, which means that she's protecting herself. Okay, and she's got her back to that intuition, that water, and that moon. So there's a very internal element to that card, especially because that woman is sitting on that rock alone, right? And here you've got two people. So this could be an actual fight. And again, we've got a Two of Pentacles here. And remember, I did mention two relationships. So, I mean, possibly you are fighting that. Possibly this is a battle that has to do with another person. This could be your masculine. You're really fighting. But I really look at this much more strongly as an internal struggle, especially when it's upside down. I feel it's internalized, or you're kind of at a stalemate. You don't really know which way to fight or how to fight. And you're not really into fighting. But in the upright, there's definitely a struggle here. And I do see this a lot of times as an internal battle. And I do see this sometimes as a battle with your ego or a battle with your shadow self. Okay, because this is the suit of swords, which has to do with air, right? Which is mental thoughts and ideas. Okay, the suit of air or swords is all about mental pursuits, thoughts and ideas, right? And these are cards of high action too. There's action in these cards. So definitely some kind of struggle here. I'm going to go ahead and turn over the connecting energy cards, and then we'll clarify. Okay, so the first connecting, wow. Appropriate. Ace of Swords in reverse. This is about a lack of mental clarity. Okay? Remember what I said again? This is a lack of something, a truth coming to light. Right? An untruth, a non-truth, a lack of truth. Or the lack of the presence of something that you need to know. But I really do feel a lot of the times, this is either about the truth being stifled, or this is just about your not having mental clarity. Okay? I'm not sure yet if this is going to pertain to the masculines or feminines, but I'm going to say feminines, that this may be a little bit more about what's going on here. Okay? You may be feeling an internal struggle or an internal battle because you have a lack of clarity and insight going on right now. And I'm not saying that's your fault. It could just be that you have a lack of information, right? Again, when I say sometimes in that Rider-Waite deck, that Two of Swords is all about being blindfolded, being blinded, not having all the information you need, right? Or being in denial. And this card could stand for all of those things. Right underneath that, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. The Three of Swords upright is the heartbreak card, guys. A lot of times this denotes a third-party situation, or this could just be, so it could be three people that were involved in this heartache, or this could be a heartbreak in three different ways, on three different levels. Again, another Swords card here, right? In the reverse, this card speaks to forgiveness. Sometimes it just means this heartbreak is kind of fading out. Again, right? Sometimes when we see things in the reverse, it means that energy can be muted. But here, I think this has to do with forgiveness. And I think that this forgiveness might have to do with a lack of clarity or a denial about something or a truth that isn't being fully realized when it has to do with this heartache. a relationship could have broken up here. There could have very much been a third-party situation. Remember what I said? This could be about juggling two people. And this can be a card of sort of jealousy, right? Or envy. You've heard the term green with envy, right? Not wanting somebody to have what's yours, holding on too tight to something, juggling two things, trying to bring something into harmony, denial, a battle and a struggle here. So not necessarily 100% doesn't have to be three people. Okay, but I think that that's definitely a storyline here that might play out for something. And that is extremely common in twin flame relationships. And sometimes I was listening actually to a really cool video from Twin Flame Revolution. Two girls I just started listening to that are twin flames. They're in a same-sex relationship, and their names are Nicole and Dove. And I really like their messages. They talk a lot about addiction, drug addiction. And I think that we see that a lot in twin flame relationships, right? And one of them was a former addict. And they were talking about how the drug itself becomes the other person. Your drug becomes your mistress, right? For any of you that have dealt with substances and substance abuse, you understand the ritual of the relationship you have with that drug. It's romantic, right? It's deadly, but the risk is part of the romance and the high, obviously, and the comfort and the numbness that it gives you, right? So you can mute out what's going on. Third party here could always be that addiction, okay? But this could also be about forgiveness. This could be about a heartache happening here with three different people, or just a heartache in general, and the need to overcome that heartache. And sometimes the thing that's keeping somebody in that heartache is the lack of forgiveness due to something that's being obscured, or due to a truth that's not being realized, or not having mental clarity about something. And that could have to do with somebody on this twin flame journey, either the divine masculine or the feminine. If your partner is struggling with any kind of substance abuse, that's very much what this could be too. Holding on to something too tight, right? Using something to a detrimental effect. And if you're on the other side of that, perhaps you're not really understanding or seeing the true nature of this and what addiction does to people. Okay? I'm just throwing that out there. That definitely doesn't have to be the case, but I think we will get some more answers as we're clarifying, okay? So we're going to go ahead and clarify divine masculines here. What is this boredom? What is this lack that you're feeling? Not feeling too fiery here, guys, right? You're not feeling like you're really in your element to manifest and be creative and passionate because you feel like you've got the weight of the world on your back. And I'm going to venture to say there might be something going on here that's, maybe in your control, or it's been going on a really, really, really long time. Can't seem to break away from it, right? Can't seem to break out from under the stress of these wands. So let's see what we get. A lot more wands. You did get one sword, though. We got the 7 of Swords on top of the 4 of Cups here. This person, a lot of readers refer to this card as the liar cheater card. I don't necessarily like to go there. I mean, it could definitely be. But I look at this in a more general sense. This is somebody that is definitely going their own way. They are definitely not being the most honest because they've sort of taken up a few of those swords there, but they left a few behind. So there's a strategy involved with this card, right? There's a reason. This guy isn't just being so greedy he took up all the swords. He left a few back there, but he's sneaking off with a few for himself, right? And he's taking more for himself than he's leaving. So there is definitely a lack of balance here, okay? Which is erring on the side of it not being so honest, because this person is taking a little bit more for him than he's leaving. So this has to do with feeling like you either need to go something alone and go your own way, right? Find your own path, do your own thing. Maybe you're being a little sneaky about it. Maybe you're being a little underhanded. Maybe you're being under the radar. And that has to do with whatever this boredom and this complacency is. It's an interesting combo here. I'm not going to lie. Okay? I don't know, masculines, if this is you. Kind of, again, just doing your own thing and knowing you've got this effort, this emotion being poured into your cup, but you're not taking it because you've got other plans and you're going in a different direction here. than this person knows about, or if this has to do with an actual dishonesty here and a reason you're not accepting this cup. Because I don't think the woman pouring the love and pouring the emotion is the one being dishonest, okay? I think it would be more likely to be the guy laying there just sort of letting her do it, all right? And maybe there was a dishonesty here with it. Maybe you took a little bit too much. You're taking a little bit more than you need to be taking because she keeps pouring and you just keep sleeping like a lazy bump on a log, right? Then on top of the King of Wands in reverse, we have the Two of Wands in reverse. And this card has a few different meanings for me. All right, this guy's obviously walking on stilts, right? He's got these two stilts and he's walking along. So he's making progress. He's on a journey. He's on a mission, right? He's got somewhere to be and somewhere to go. This is probably not the best way to get there, but this card also speaks to foundations, right? You've got two equal sized staffs sort of being put up there in the ground. And so this is about laying foundations for me. This is about setting intentions, setting a commitment to something, right? Because this guy is committed to walking on these stilts. And he is, again, moving forward, right? There's some action that has to do with the suits of wands here, just like the swords, although it's not as quick as the swords. So this guy's got a place to go, and he's got a foundation set in the upright. In the reverse, something's not coming together. And I see this as a lack of commitment or a lack of self-worth. And I beat the drum of self-worth a lot in these videos, guys. You're going to get really tired of hearing me say it, but it's extremely integral to this journey, is that you cultivate self-worth, okay? You ain't never going to get where you need to go if you do not heighten how you feel about yourself, heighten your vibration, and come into having self-worth. And so when this is upside down, this can be negative self-talk. This can be not setting foundations for yourself, not setting your boundaries, allowing people to walk all over you, feeling like you don't have control over a situation, right? But the reason you don't have control of the situation is because you haven't set the boundaries, and you haven't set your foundations, and you haven't set your intentions. And that's why you're not able to be this guy. You can't come into your full element and be this like visionary master if you don't set intentions and commit to them and set the foundations of what you want to be successful. Okay? This guy's not getting anywhere trying to walk on these stilts upside down. And then over the 10 of Wands, we have the 7 of Wands. This card is all about standing up for something you believe in. The word that I relate to this card is vigilance, right? He's ready to protect himself. He's ready to fight for what he wants. He's ready to do whatever he needs to do to make his point, to get to his next goal, right? There is an element of protection here, but there's also an element of being strong and fighting for what you believe in. So this person, there is integrity here, right? If this person's willing to fight, so maybe you just feel like you've been fighting so hard to get what you want, you're just exhausted. And the struggle for you has gone on for a really, really long time. Yeah, because this guy in the upright, I mean, I see this in the purest sense of this card, which is fighting for what you want. So I don't understand why this energy is here, right? And it's kind of not going away. It's upside down. It's going back to the 9. All right, which is also a card of it's like one more fight, right? Continuing the battle. So we've got this just really heavy kind of energy here, guys, and some dishonesty or a little bit of an underhanded thing going on here where you're doing something or you're not being honest about what you say or what you act or what you do. And this person is trying to give you, maybe your feminine is really trying to give you love, guys, and you're just kind of doing your own thing and you're taking it. You're letting her, but you're just going on your own way, doing your own thing, right? That probably doesn't have the best, where you don't have the best intentions because you're taking more swords than you're leaving behind. You're taking too much. I love you, masculine Geminis. I'm just saying. It looks like things are lopsided here, and you're definitely taking too much. And whatever this is with this non-commitment and these non-foundations and these non-boundaries, they're making you a little bit manipulative, right? So I don't really understand what you're standing up for here, because you're sort of just allowing yourself to be crushed under the weight of something. Again, we'll clarify some more. All right, let's move on to feminines. It's a lot of wands cards there, masculines. A lot of wands. A lot of passion in you, Gemini masculines. A lot of passion and creativity, but it's not being put in the right place right now. Okay? I'll just put that out there. But we'll get some advice cards going, because these readings are only as good as the advice we can get to move forward, right? All right, feminines. What are you juggling? What are you balancing? What are you holding on to? And who are you fighting? My goodness. Let's see. Okay. The first card we have on top of the Two of Pentacles is the Justice card. This card is all about righting a wrong, right? This is about bringing the scales of justice into balance. And you see how he has a phoenix rising in the background there? This card speaks to me of definitely, it could be like a rebirth of something. There could be a renewal of something, okay? But I feel like this has to do with kind of everything just being in its fairness. So maybe the thing that you're juggling here, maybe you're trying to really balance the scales in a way, right? Because you've got the Two Pentacles and you've got the two scales here. So maybe there is something that you are really trying to, and you've got an 11 card here too, right? That's 11, and 1 + 1 is 2. So you've definitely, there's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Even balance here, right? With the 2 and the 2, or the 11, and this justice and this balancing of the scales. So there's something here that you are really trying to make right, I think, okay? And then on top of the 4 of Pentacles, we've got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a lack of having a really stable, solid, foundational relationship, right? A relationship that sort of rings all the bells, isn't just emotionally fulfilling, but also, brings wealth and brings a really strong home environment and feeds your spirituality. This is in the reverse. So this is a relationship that didn't quite work out, right? This is the lack of really having something that's fulfilling on many different levels. And that's on top of this 4 of Pentacles. So maybe somebody was holding on too tight here, right? Maybe there was some greed and some jealousy and some envy, which is why this broke down. Okay? And also, it is very possible that your masculine was married and that this was his relationship, and he's holding on really tightly to maybe the money in that relationship. If he was in a marriage that had, maybe his wife's family owned a business and he made good money off of her, and now that's breaking down here, and because he really wants to hold on to that, or, for whatever reason, something doesn't have like staying power here, right? It doesn't have this potential, or it was broken down due to this holding on too tight. Okay? Or somebody's holding on to the relationship, despite the fact that it's not really in its full potential here, in its full element to create a really stable environment and a stable situation. And then underneath that, we've got this battle again, right? And I was talking about this like denial, but there's a hope card. There's this beautiful star healing card. The star is all about healing. This is a card of Aquarius, right? Even though there's lots of water here in Aquarius, it's actually the air sign. This is the water bringer, right? And she's pouring the cups back and forth. So she's taking whatever she takes out of the river, she's pouring back in. Okay, so there's a very giving and receiving element here too. And, and you've also got the 2 of Swords. You've got 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, and then Justice with that 11 that breaks down into the 2. So there's something that I think, feminines, you're really struggling to keep in balance here. But for whatever reason, there was a breakdown of this relationship that had really great potential, but somebody got greedy, or somebody was holding on too tight, And I think that you're really trying to keep the scales balanced there. So I don't know if possibly, and it's strange to get this healing and this hope card on top of this fighting, on top of this battle, right? Internal battle due to a lack of clarity and heartbreak that happened here. And this might have to do with your masculine being a little bit sneaky and taking love that he's not returning, right? Taking advantage of people because he doesn't know how to set boundaries. He doesn't know he doesn't have any self-worth. So he doesn't know how to set his own boundaries and set solid foundations, which is why he's in this manipulative position here. And he's not reaching his full potential. Although he feels like he's burdened and he feels like he's fighting a fight alone, right? He feels like he's standing up for what he wants here. But I'm not quite sure what that is because I don't think he knows either. So he's fighting for something. He's definitely fighting a battle and he's definitely feeling weighed down. And maybe he just doesn't have the energy to commit to this. And feminines, you feel like you're doing all the balancing here and you're trying to make things right and you want your justice because it's like I just see you really trying to make an effort and really wanting it to happen. And there is just a lack of something here. I'm going to clarify the two middle cards, okay? We're going to see what this Ace of Swords in reverse and this Three of Swords in reverse are all about. For the sign of Gemini, this is for the month of July, guys, by the way. And if you want a personal reading, I do have my information in the description box. All right, so feel free to hit me up for that. And you can check out my Wine and Spirits TV, too, which I do for the new moon and the full moon, or at least I'm going to try. And those are really just fun general readings and paired with wine. So, all right, let's get some clarifiers. I don't know if this is helping. Okay, we've got the Five of Wands now on top of this lack of clarity. This is all about family fighting and struggles. This could be a work environment that's really competitive, or this is a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds with a lot of different opinions. And everybody's trying to get their sticks up there, and everybody's got their ideas, and they're all trying to throw in their 2 cents, but it's not happening, right? The structure is not getting built because these people can't agree. So maybe that's this truth that hasn't come out here. Maybe that's the lack of clarity here. Maybe there's just so much going on with other people. I don't see the Five of Swords here, which is kind of like the fighting card, right? Which normally involves more people. But I really do think that this has to do with a family situation or just a lot of people that are involved. And that's why the feminines, you're having such a hard time juggling this thing, making this thing work and really having it come into harmony and balance. Even though that's really, really what you want and you're trying to make things right, because there's just something you're holding on to that is not ready. Like it doesn't have the foundation yet because the masculine has got a lot of stuff going on. And you see all of this red and orange, this passion and this fighting, right? And all of these wands and the masculine over here, you've got nothing but wands, right? Nothing but this wands energy. It's just kind of chaotic. Right? And then on top of the Three of Swords in reverse, we've got the Eight of Cups. This is somebody that's making a conscious effort to move away from a situation that is not serving them. This could be somebody that's literally moving away from their friends. See the two people gossiping in the background, or family, people in their lives that don't serve them and don't have their greatest good at heart. Somebody that's just trying to get to a place where they are feeling more fulfilled in their lives spiritually, or feeling more fulfilled in their lives from an emotional level and have better lasting relationships, deeper relationships. And this is on top of the Three of Swords in reverse. So this very, very much could be somebody kicking a habit, a drug habit, like I was saying before. Or this could be somebody, or an alcohol problem, a drinking problem, right? I mean, and then you've got these cups here too, right? Somebody's cup being poured into in the sky with the swords. And then you've got the water carrier here with the cups and this like struggle and healing, this hope and healing on top of this battle. Guys, I'm going to keep touching on this addiction thing because the devil isn't here. So maybe this is working its way out. But I just want to say that probably plays out for somebody. Okay, the Geminis, that you may have a twin that's been battling with this, which could also be why they're not in balance here and they're not able to set their boundaries and their foundations, which is what's making them like this. Very, very possible. Okay. And I don't mean to be doom and gloom. But this is a reality for a lot of people. And I do think there's hope here, feminines. That is a good thing. And I do think this energy is fading out. And this 8 being upright is good too. There's nothing here for you anymore in this heartbreak. Walk away from it, right? Walk away from it. Get yourself to an emotional place. Either if this is the person trying to kick the habit, get yourself to an emotional place that's better for you, that will serve your soul. Or this is someone that's walking away from this situation because they just can't deal with it right now. And that's okay, guys. That's why we hold space for people, right? That's why if we have somebody that we love very dear to us, we practice unconditional love, okay? Because that means that we love them in the space they're in. It might not be time for us to come in. We can't necessarily always be the ones that heal, right? But we can wish for that for the people we love, and wish that they'll come out of it, and wish that these wrongs will be righted, right? And we'll come into harmony and balance, and we'll be reborn again into something better, right? But there's definitely a sort of greed and envy and jealousy moment going on here. This could be somebody that, feminines, you could have been really jealous of this relationship that the masculine had, in his family. A lot of different storylines here, guys. I'm not going to lie, Geminis, lot of storylines. Okay. All right. So let's clarify with some oracle cards. I'm going to use our messenger oracle deck here. These cards give me a lot of curveballs, but I do like them. I'm getting used to them. They have a very earthy element, so I think that's pretty cool because it's really different than a lot of my decks. And so they speak a lot to the earth and animals and all that kind of stuff, nature. So masculines, let's try and get a good clarifier for you. What advice can we have for our Gemini masculines to move past the situation and come from a little bit of a better place of authenticity? Guys, I think that's really the word for you here right now, okay? Gemini masculines, authenticity. Where do you find your authenticity? How can you tap into that a little bit more? Because I think there's a little bit of dishonesty going on here. I'm not going to lie. Share your thoughts. What's cool about this guy, Geminis, is he's got 2 colors going on with his face here, right? And you guys are all about the twins, right? The masks, the 2s. This is a 41, so it's a 5. But anyway, this is about sharing your thoughts. What is it you need to say? Because I don't think you're saying much of anything. I think you're going off and doing your own thing, and you're letting this poor feminine pour all of her heart and soul into you, and you're just like, you're fighting a battle, but it's not an emotional one. It's not a love battle, right? I don't think you're doing anything about that at all. I think you're the man asleep, and I think you need to share your thoughts, because that's what's going to help you come out of feeling like this. Like you are enduring the struggle that is never ending, and you keep having to fight, fight, fight. You know what I think this combo is? I think this is defensiveness. I think this is you like just making your argument constantly and constantly being defensive. And that's why it keeps you feeling stuck under the weight of all of this stuff, because you're defensive and you're letting your ego rule your actions, right? When you're leading with your ego, then it's making you feel like you have to be underhanded here and dishonest and take whatever you can for yourself and let this poor woman keep pouring into your cup. No offense here, guys. This is just the message I'm getting, but you need to share your thoughts and talk about how you feel. That is really extremely important, okay? Despite all the fighting that might be going on here, and this truth that needs to come to light, and maybe that truth that needs to come to light is how you feel, masculines. And you need to walk away from whatever situation this heartache situation that's thankfully kind of working its way out, but there's a need for forgiveness again, so you can move away to a more emotionally fulfilling place. Forgiveness. All of this fighting, all of these opinions, all of this heartbreak, all of these casualties, all of this needs to come out, and you need to share your thoughts. Okay? All right, feminines, let's see what you got here. And guys, this doesn't have to be necessarily addiction either. It could definitely be a sexual addiction, because when we're looking at the wands here, this can play into your sexuality, because it's, the passion. This is the passion suit, and this comes from your sacral chakra and your root chakra, right? That's our creative center, but that's also the center of our sexuality, because one is born of the other, right? That is where we create from, literally speaking, procreate from, and that's where your creativity, that's where it kind of comes from, right? That's where we harbor it. That's these colors of red and orange here. So this could just be about somebody that's being very unfaithful and taking advantage of other people's love and being really defensive about it and feeling trapped under the weight of your own decisions. Guys, I am so sorry. That is a horrible message, but it's just what I get, and you need to share how you feel, and you need to come out of this, and you need to walk away, because it has caused some major heartache and some major fighting. Feminine, let's get a positive message for you. I hope your masculine isn't acting like this. I'm just going to put that out there. And Gemini masculines, again, I don't mean to be harsh, but if this isn't you and this isn't at all resonating with what's been going on with you, please let me know. I would love to hear a different perspective. Okay. All right. I guess this is it. All right. Wow. Time to reflect. And Gemini feminines, remember what I was talking about with the masculines having the two faces too, which was appropriate since you're Gemini, you are the twins. Here we've got two faces again too. Time to reflect, time to take a step back, reflect in this water with this hope and this healing. Reflect on the clarity here of what's going on and try and figure out a little bit about what's going on. Okay? I think that's a pretty simple message. I don't see you doing so much fighting here outwardly. I see you more as like trying to really juggle something and bring it into harmony and again, like get this justice with whatever has been happening. But reflection is always good because it helps us achieve clarity, right? And maybe that's how you'll be able to turn this sword upside down a little bit and get a little bit clearer about what's been going on. Okay, last card I'm going to pull. It's getting long, guys. I'm sorry. Vintage Oracle deck, Vintage Wisdom. I love this deck. Usually gives us just really great one-word messages that I think tie up the readings really nice. So, looking for Gemini masculines. Gemini masculines. Let's see. You know, the need for the masculines to share their thoughts too. Feminines is probably why this is upside down, because you don't know the truth, because they're not telling you. They're just doing their own thing, acting a damn fool. All right, masculines, what card can we get for you guys for July? Let's see. Wow. Purity. I'm sorry, but I can't help but laugh because I've just been talking about all this addiction and all of this cheating and lying and, not being honest, not being a good guy, right? Not committing, not setting foundations and boundaries, not sharing your thoughts, being defensive. Purity. How do you find purity? How do you bring purity into your life? This could literally be about getting clean, right? Literally. Wow, I'm not even going to mess with that. All right, feminines, what do we have for you? Time to reflect. Time to look back. Get yourself to a place of hope and healing. You can see what's going on, and you can love the masculine and the space he's in as difficult as that might be, right? If he is dealing with any of these energies. Let's see. And again, I'm really glad the devil didn't show up here. And this gives me hope, guys, that there will be a moving away from something that is not, that's painful. That's been really painful. Okay? So feminines for Gemini for July. All right. This is going to seem really hard. Okay, feminines. Gratitude. This card is like the card that makes you want to scream a lot of the times, right? Because you're like, how in the hell am I supposed to be grateful for any of this? But if this is talking about the reason that you and your masculine split and had to walk away from each other, it's all about having gratitude, because the gift is in the separation. And because that's when we get to reflect, right, on our situation and everything that happened that causes pain and how we held on too tight, because we can't be defined by our relationships with other people. And we can't let our self-worth be defined by somebody else's love for us, right? Even when we're doing all this juggling and we're trying to be harmonious and find balance and get justice for things that we feel we've been wronged for, right? You have to have gratitude, because this is only going to help get you to a situation for the better. And hopefully this is only going to help the separation here, what's going on, because I did say I was going to read for twin flames and separation. So whatever is going on with your masculine, you really just need to try to figure out how to cultivate a sense of gratitude and come from a place where you can, again, hold that space and hope and healing, right? For whatever this battle is that's happening here. The struggle. Could be the struggle of you wanting to even continue in on this relationship, right? Wow, yeah, that is a lot of messages for you guys. I hope that some of this resonated with you. I also hope this did not resonate with you, because I do feel like we have some really challenging energies going on both sides, right? And I feel like it's very possible that there is a lot of codependent behavior happening here that has not been so pretty. But I think that we're going to see that fade out over the next 30 days. And I really encourage the masculines to speak up and speak your mind and speak your truth, okay, for the betterment of everybody, and focus on purity. Focus on cultivating purity. How do you get clean? How do you start fresh? All right? And feminines, just reflect. Just reflect and be grateful for everything that you have right now, okay? And try to see things from a little bit of a different perspective. All right, that's it, Geminis. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time, namaste.